You're listening to Boston's home for kick-ass talk radio, 108.6 Fake FM, aka This Ain't Real Radio. This is MultimediaJay radio style. That's a meatball.
It's the end of the world, people. It's the end of the world. I'm sorry to have to bring you such sad news, but it's true. The sky is falling. It's time to build a bomb shelter made out of tinfoil in your backyard. Tough times are ahead. The whole world is going to see horrors like never before. Wal-Mart actually had to re-strategize something that didn't work out all that well. Obviously, in all of that stuff I just blurted out, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I don't think Walmart or any other company, for that matter, is above failure. And if they mess something up, well, it's because they're a company made up of people and nobody's perfect. You know, companies are somewhat human, too, because they're a bunch of humans trying to make them run. But that's another soapbox for another day. Out of the Wall Street Journal earlier this week, Walmart scales back DVD displays. An article that I'm sure will bring about legions of fanboys stampeding at me going, "Hey, Jay, ha ha ha, Walmart's backing off on selling DVDs. DVD is being phased out. Blu-ray is going to take over the world." Until they actually read the article and find out that it has absolutely nothing to do with that. Apparently, merchandising hasn't gone so well for DVD and Blu-ray in Walmart stores, and they want to rethink their strategy. Some of that involves scaling back a bit on what they're selling, which is what I've seen at one of the Walmarts around here, where the Blu-ray section actually shrunk down to almost nothing. But apparently this is a big company-wide thing now, and one of the big things mentioned was the removal of in-store cardboard displays, like those cardboard shippers you might see with special product that's only on sale for X amount of time, like an introductory offer or a seasonal product or something along those lines. And easy, if you're not that familiar with shippers as a retail term, think like Halloween candy displays, like what some of the stores might have for a Halloween candy, big cardboard shelves and stuff like that. But I guess Walmart wants to just drop that altogether, and some analysts in the article actually wrote that, you know, it looks like Walmart doesn't see disc format movies as something that would drive traffic through the store. And as I'm looking at this, I can't help but not be surprised at exactly what's going on here. Now, we just got done making fun of Brick and Mortar stores for doing such a horrible job of marketing Blu-ray with those itty-bitty worn-out TVs running the Blu-ray demo discs. But something else I should mention is I can pretty much count on Brick and Mortar stores to be the place to go when I want to pay anywhere close to retail price for a high-definition movie. I mean, it's ridiculous. How oblivious are these folks? Now, when you talk about merchandising, you're talking about the nuts and bolts that make stores sell stuff. The engineering and behind-the-scenes type stuff, like shelf space allocations, in-store displays, all these things that are designed to help move specific SKUs of product, drive traffic into the store, what have you. It's really not something that the average shopper looking for cheap underwear is going to worry about, but it helps to drive sales. And so, you know, you can't really walk too far into retail without running into merchandising. Even bad merchandising, like one example I know where I walked into this grocery store and whoever the idiot was that engineered all the shelf space obviously didn't take into account the fact that glass is breakable and decided to put entire cases of soda that was on sale, by the way, right next to loose glass bottles of soda. So if you reach for a case of soda, you'd run the risk of knocking over a bunch of glass bottles of soda, which would then fall to the hard floor, clean up an aisle, such and such, and okay, enough of the tangent. Let's get back to the stuff that I'm supposed to be talking about here. And now merchandising, much like marketing, is rarely ever straightforward. I mean, you're talking about trying to get people to buy stuff, you know, using every mundane detail of where the product is on sale, what it's in, how it's being displayed, you know, to your advantage. So it's not exactly cut and dry, so to speak. But with all this stuff going on, with all these things these companies do to try and raise their sales by some fraction of a percent, everything counts, every penny counts, or whatever the motto is these days, it never ceases to amaze me how sometimes these brick and mortar stores seem to be completely oblivious to the internet. You see, there's a little something that has started up in the last decade called e-commerce, called buying stuff online, called brick and mortar stores are being squeezed into a niche of convenience more so than volume sales. It's called I order online if I want something, or I go to a store if I want it now. Have these people even thought about that? If sales of movies in stores have been soft, maybe some of these people need to jump online for the first time in their life. Take, for example, some of the most comparatively expensive Blu-ray movies that I've bought at anywhere close to retail price. What do they all have in common? Brick and Mortar store. Every single one of them. I can pretty much count on Brick and Mortar stores to be the place for me to go where to buy Blu-ray or even DVDs at anywhere close to the retail price. I mean, have these people ever heard of iNet Video? Have these people never heard of Amazon? I mean, how have these people not heard of Amazon.com if they've been within 500 feet of been within 500 feet of a computer at any point in their lives? Unless you're talking about like those huge computers in the 60s that took up whole rooms, but just kidding. But yeah, I mean, that's the difference. I go into a brick and mortar store and I see a Blu-ray movie on sale, and it's the prices that people complain about when they're like, "Oh, I'm not going to pay $30 for a movie." Then I jump online and I go to Amazon. I see all the discounts. I sign up, which is a rarity for me, by the way, for a marketing newsletter or whatnot, or an e-ad or whatever you want to call it, that routinely sends emails to me whenever Blu-rays and DVDs go on sale. I sign up for that stuff, and I almost want to turn that stuff off because barely a week goes by without me seeing some kind of advertisement for some kind of Blu-ray sale or DVD sale or some kind of sale that brings the cost of Blu-ray movies close to or even down to the cost of DVD releases. It's nuts. But I get none of that if I walk to my local so-and-so department store. Jeez. I understand Best Buy has sales too, and sometimes Amazon likes to get into pricing games with Best Buy, trying to match what they're doing, trying to match online what Best Buy's doing in the brick and mortar stores. But Best Buy is a completely different animal as far as I'm concerned altogether. So, we'll talk about that at some other time. Around here, though, yeah, brick and mortar stores to me are synonymous with expensive. And not expensive as in, I don't want to pay $30 for a movie. No, I grew up in the days of $30 VHS tapes. I'm talking comparatively expensive, as in such and such Blu-ray release cost me comparatively more than such and such similar Blu-ray release. Yeah, that kind of stuff. But it's a trend that I am sick and tired of seeing. I go online and there's sale after sale after sale on DVD and Blu-ray. I go to a brick and mortar store and it's regular price after regular price after regular price after regular price, or close to it. If DVD and Blu-ray sales have been lousy, I think some of these stores need to start looking around for a change. There's the internet, there's e-tailers, there's e-commerce, there's Netflix, there's Redbox, there's digital downloads, which are often similar to DVDs in terms of their quality. In short, what I've been saying about DVDs is pretty much true. Far from being phased out, they're going to be a budget format. I'm calling them dollar store video disc, because I imagine at some point it's going to get to the point where the only way you can sell DVDs is in dollar stores and stuff like that. I mean, look at some of the stuff that we've got out nowadays. You got streaming stuff, you got downloadable stuff, and the technical barriers don't really start coming into play until you're looking at something like, say, HD content streamed over the web. When you're talking about HD stuff that you buy from a download service, that's a totally different story altogether. But, SD stuff, it's practically commoditized. Let's face it, whether these people want to admit it or not, if they ever decide to get with the times in the first place, there is absolutely nothing special about having DVD anything anymore. I'm calling it dollar store video disc, but what it is a very, very, very commoditized technology. And if sales have been soft, the answer to those soft sales lies in these folks opening their eyes and taking a look at what's going on. Because there's plenty of stuff going on, even if it's not at the local Wal-Mart. Well, best wishes to Wal-Mart on their re-strategizing of how they're going to sell movies. I'd really hate for movies to disappear from brick and mortar stores entirely, and then I have to wait for a shipping time in order to get any kind of movies at all. I'm sure that's not what's about to happen right here, but hopefully whatever changes occur because of this echo through the industry and help to close the gap a bit between the brick and mortar stores and everybody else in terms of selling this stuff, merchandising it, marketing it, what have you. As the way things are getting, I may have to start calling the brick and mortars Dinostores if this keeps up. I'm MultimediaJay. This is MultimediaJay radio style. Don't touch that dial. Please excuse me while I go see if any DVDs are on sale at Walmart.